Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, like, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here. So it is time for the next episode of Movies That Deserves a Sequel. Now, in today's video, guys, I'm going to be talking about this time an example of an animated movie which, in my opinion, does deserve a sequel, and I'd love to see more story from this movie in sequels. This is a movie released in 2002, and it's actually a Disney animated movie as well, guys, in their 2D era, which I really do miss, of course, because that era had lots of phenomenal movies, and this one is actually no exception, in my opinion. This one, in my opinion, is actually a really underrated film that I think deserves a lot more love. And this film, of course, which I would love to see a sequel to, is none other than 2002's Treasure Planet. So, now, you guys are probably wondering, what do I think of Treasure Planet? Well, as I just said, guys, I really love Treasure Planet. In my opinion, it's a very underrated animated movie. One of the most underrated animated films I've seen in my life. And I definitely, really loved it when I first saw it for the first time. And Jim Hawkins is my favourite role of all time from Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who gives an amazing performance in this movie. And there's other great performances in this from people such as Brian Murray, David Hyde Pierce, Martin Short, Roscoe Lee Brown, Emma Thompson, Michael Wincott, Laurie Metcalf, and Patrick McGoohan, just to name a few. And with a really amazing story, which adapts, of course, Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson in like a sci-fi genre this time, and which I definitely think, worked really well in this, and was definitely really amazing, because I'm a big fan of sci-fi, guys, and the way they did this was really great. Despite changing the genre, they still retained faithfulness to Treasure Island, and in many cases, and they did a really great job with it. The story was really amazing, and I definitely would love to see more of this franchise for sure. I really would love to see it happen. However, unfortunately, the possibilities of them doing sequels has unfortunately not happened since, really sadly. There was development for a sequel, but unfortunately it's not happened, because sadly this first movie did not do well at the box office, which really sucked, doesn't it? There was going to be a sequel with many characters coming back and with new ones being included, and there was going to be a villain, of course, which was Ironbeard, and he was going to be voiced by Willem Dafoe. So, wow. I would have really loved to see Jim Hawkins, encounter Willem Dafoe, because Willem Dafoe is a legend, and not having him in a movie sequel to Treasure Planet is definitely a massive missed opportunity right there. Massive. So it's a shame that the first film didn't do well at the box office, indeed. Now, if they do a sequel to this movie, there's a few conditions I would have with it. So, one is that I hope they don't do it direct to video and they do it in theatres. Because I definitely think Treasure Planet's sequel does deserve to be shown in theatres, because it's been 21 years since the last movie, guys, of course. So I really do hope that the wait is paid off with a theatrical release for fans of the first movie, like me, for example. I would definitely love to see it in theatres. And I also say that I don't want to speed direct to video, because unfortunately, many sequels to Disney's classic movies in the 2D era have unfortunately not been good, as I have heard about, because many of the direct to video sequels have had bad reviews on release, and I can also vouch for this because I hated both Brother Bear 2 and Pocahontas 2. So far, the only direct-to-video sequel I've liked, guys, is The Lion King 2. Everything else I've not heard good things about, sadly. So, I hope if they do a sequel to this, they do it in theatres, and they don't do it direct-to-video. And they get many of the cast back, and they don't recast any, of course, who of course, is possible to return. Obviously, of course, some people unfortunately passed away from the last movie. So, for example, Roscoe Lee Brown, rest in peace, he passed away in 2007. And Patrick McGoohan, unfortunately, as well, passed away in 2009. Rest in peace. So yeah, those are all the ones I could probably accept, of course, not their characters not being in a movie, of course. So I think it'd probably be best to retire those whose actors, of course, passed away. But bring back many of the beloved characters from the first movie, like Jim Hawkins, and get Joseph Gordon-Levitt to reprise his role, because that's my favourite role of Joseph, because he's a great actor, and this film is definitely my favourite role of his. And I want to see him come back. Maybe even as well get the original planned sequel storyboard come to fruition in this sequel, and have Ironbeard be with Willem Dafoe voicing him, That would be just epic right there, really awesome. And also, another condition I do also have with the movie is also that I hope they don't do it in 3D and they keep it in 2D. Because I don't think Treasure Planet being converted from 2D to 3D is going to work, in my opinion. The best example I can say of it all going horribly wrong is probably Spirits in DreamWorks, because it starts off as a 2D movie. Then they did a horrible or spin-off sequel, which I thought was absolute trash, which converted from 2D to 3D, and animation as a result was horrendous. So, I really do hope that they keep it in 2D. And it can also be, of course, nostalgic for fans of the first movie as well, if they keep it in 2D. That would be amazing. Because, like I said, guys, I really do miss the 2D era of Disney. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have seen some good 3D films by Disney. Many of them I do love, like Zootopia, for example. But I really do miss the 2D era for Disney. So, I really hope that if they do a sequel to this movie, they do it in 2D. As a way of course, being faithful to it. And of course, as nostalgic fan service for fans of the first movie. So, in the meantime, guys, what I'll do is I will keep rewatching the original movie, because somewhere I've got it on Blu-ray, which I got last year. So I'll keep rewatching it. One day I will also post a review for it, absolutely, because like I said, guys, I love the movie. It's a full-blown 10 out of 10 from me. In my opinion, a very underrated animated film that deserves more love. And like I said, I'd love to see more stories of it, and for it to become a franchise. Maybe even be a trilogy. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it? And I'll keep rewatching it with hope that we'll be doing a sequel to it. So yeah. Long story short, guys, in my opinion, Treasure Planet is a strong example of an animated film that deserves a sequel. So guys, this is me doing the next episode of movie of the sequel, where I was saying why, in my opinion, Treasure Planet is an example of a film that deserves a sequel. So you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to tell us in the comments what you guys think of Treasure Planet. Do you need a sequel on, or comments below what you think. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe if it's coming in the future. If you would like to be a member, you can press join if you're using a PC Lads or Kilo subscription, and I'll see you all later.